Okay, let's start with the Supreme Court. Specifically Justice Amy Coney Barrett and how she explained the court's thinking, especially on Trump v. United States and this whole presidential immunity thing. Look, from where I stand, these rulings are absolutely vital. They're about protecting Article 2, the presidency itself, for the long haul.
The court decides cases as they come. And one thing that I try to emphasize to students, and one thing I try to do in the book, is place the court in the context of history. We're not deciding cases just for today.
Barrett made it clear, didn't she? She said they're deciding on the presidency, not just the current occupant. And that distinction, I think, is key. It's meant to be a bulwark, right, against weaponizing the justice system, preventing, these kinds of, radical prosecutors like Jack Smith or Alvin Bragg from launching partisan vendettas just to paralyze future presidents. I mean, look at the sheer number of charges against Trump, over 90 felony charges, and how many have been dismissed or delayed. It suggests, to me anyway, that these are pretty flimsy attacks, politically motivated assaults. It's hard to see it any other way.
Well, I understand the argument for protecting the institution. I really do. But I fundamentally disagree that these rulings, especially that 6-3 decision on immunity, actually achieve that in a healthy way. To me, they dangerously erode the checks we need on executive power. It feels like it sets a really, really troubling precedent. And Justice Barrett's framing, okay, she aims for impartiality, but it's hard to square that with the reality of this court's decisions, right? This is the court that overturned Roe v. Wade, that's gutted environmental protections. These decisions often align very neatly with, let's be honest, certain ideological goals. So calling it just protecting Article 2, it feels like it overlooks what many see as pretty clear judicial activism, prioritizing, extremist interests over basic democratic norms like accountability. And we can't really talk about the court's integrity without at least acknowledging the ethics questions swirling around, right? Like Justices Clarence Thomas, for example, accepting undisclosed gifts. That stuff matters because it raises legitimate concerns about influence and bias. So an executive branch that's suddenly more insulated from the law, empowered by these decisions, that feels like a direct threat to voting rights, civil liberties. That's not a safeguard, that's a fundamental and frankly scary shift.
But I guess the question is, who should be holding that power of accountability? Is it prosecutors who might have their own political axis to grind? Or is it the constitutional mechanisms with the Supreme Court as the final arbiter? The idea that any former president could just be dragged through endless lawsuits for official actions. That sounds like a recipe for chaos, not justice. It could completely paralyze our system. But okay, let's pivot. Let's talk about something more immediate, more local.